Good evening, everybody. We are here Friday night live. I am streaming to YouTube, and I don't have my Facebook straightened out yet, but I will upload this to Facebook as soon as I can. But for now, we're just going to go with YouTube, and I'll put the link on my main page. Without going into too much, there's been a problem here at Disturbed Oasis that's pretty darn disturbing, and it will be settled pretty soon. I cannot access or edit our Disturbed Oasis Facebook page for reasons that is a little difficult for me to explain myself, but it's going to be straightened out within a couple of days. Now, I got so much to talk about tonight. I'm so excited. There's so many good things coming up. First, I want to ask you, you know what I was just doing? I have watering cans. I have a lot of plants on my front porch, and they get mold on the inside. How do you clean that? I've tried vinegar and baking soda in a brush, and it's good, but it's not completely thorough. Obviously, I don't want to put, why is my hair going on? Obviously, I don't want to put anything like bleach or anything in it, because if there's residual left, it will kill my plants, and I've got a lot of plants. So yeah, if anybody's got any suggestions on how to do this, I'd appreciate it. So today, I just got back from Cherokee. If you've never been there and your soul needs a great refreshment, it's such a really lovely place to go. My youngest daughter was a card dealer at the Danville Casino, and she transferred to the casino in Cherokee, and she's gotten an apartment there with a couple friends from Danville that also moved there, which was pretty cool. So, you know, she didn't start out with any strangers and had support systems in place already. And this is the second or third time we've been down, and a friend of mine loaned me her van, so we were able to pack up some furniture and bring it to her, because the poor things were lacking. Their schedules haven't been on sync yet, and someone who was going to loan them a truck didn't, so we've been trying to help out in any way we can. And as soon as you start driving down, you see the sign that says Maggie Valley, and the mountains are all up here, and then they start to surround you. They're living in a place just outside of a town called Waynesville, and that's only about 20-25 minutes from the casino. But to get to the casino, you got to kind of go on a long winding road, or you can circumvent a little bit longer of a trip going on a highway. But anyway, if anybody's ever interested in going to Cherokee, I can tell you what to see, what's good value for the money, what good restaurants are there, what's not really worth your time or money. But if you do nothing but go up into the mountain areas and the overlooks, it just, communing with nature just fills your spirit. I love it. And Cherokee's a great place to go. The casino's nice too. It's actually much bigger. We didn't even go to the casino the last time. I'm kind of casinoed out because I wasn't allowed to go to the one in Danville because I've got relatives, and my husband still works there, so I still can't go to Danville. But I've been to the one in Cherokee the last couple of trips, so we didn't even go this time. But it's nice. It's much bigger. They have a lot more tables, a lot more slot machines. I usually wind up kind of even there, but I don't spend a lot of money. I usually go with $100, and I either, maybe 200 most, I either lose it or double it, and that's it. I'm done for the entire trip. But the people there are really friendly and nice, and there's a lot of history because it's on a Indian reservation or Native American reservation, and there's a lot of tourist places to go see. Some of them kind of suck, and some of them are really good. Like the museum I was looking forward to, but I think it was like 10 or 15 bucks to get in, and I didn't feel like it was worth the money. There's also a place that's supposed to be a Native American village, and the huts are made out of concrete, so it's not very Native American-y. But there's plenty of other things to see and do that are quite, if you go in the summer or spring when it's warm, riding the inner tubes down the little rapid places. Oh my God, that was probably the best thing we've done there. It was so much fun because I've never done that before. I've never gone tubing. Somebody told me that somebody was talking about doing it here where they've got the new boat deck. I forgot to turn my phone off, sorry. Where they've got the new boat deck, and I thought, man, that would be a really cool activity to have here. So on my list tonight, I just wanted to mention Cherokee because it's about a 3.5 hour drive, and it's so easy. You take 29 to Danville toward Reedsville, then you catch or towards Greensboro. Then you catch the 40 to Winston-Salem, go all the way to Asheboro. Then you catch the 74 to Waynesville, Maggie Valley, however far you're going, straight to Cherokee. Super, super easy route. Now, going down there, unfortunately, it took us like almost 6 hours because there was not one, but 2 car accidents on the way, and there was stop-still traffic, so that wasn't very pleasant. But anyway, we did it. So a lot of things going on. I was going to tell you too that one of my I think it was last week's Friday night video got flagged, and I thought, oh my God, what did I do this time? I didn't publish any names with phone numbers, with email addresses, or encourage you to contact anybody or anything like that. And when I looked at the claim, it was because apparently I was playing some music in the background, and that got flagged, not for copyright here. 2 of the songs that apparently they could catch on the soundtrack playing in the background were flagged, and it only banned me in one country. And guess what country that was? Hilarious. It was Russia. So yeah, that was interesting. I guess I broke a Russian copyright for American songs. I don't know how that works. We have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 interviews coming up. I have 2 tomorrow. The first one is with the leader of the Halifax County Democratic Party, and we're going to talk about this upcoming election, how she got involved in it, how they feel the platform's going. I have reached out to Mr. Ferguson, the leader of the local Republican Party, but I haven't heard back from him yet because I feel like giving equal time, of course, is very important, and we'll do that. And I've also been told there's a conservative party that's also Republican, but separate. There are 2 different parties here. I haven't found who leads that one yet, but when I do, I'm going to reach out to them as well. The second interview I have coming up tomorrow, and all these are going to be tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. And because I'm so pleased with this new camera equipment, I'm probably not going to do these live. I'm probably going to record them, and then, but I generally don't edit when I'm recording unless I run out of battery or my SD card gets filled up like it did at that committee meeting last week. But anyway, it's going to be with the writing candidate for District 6. His name is Daryl Malone. I believe he's from Turbeville. And we had a nice conversation, and I'm excited that he's entering the race. And he has granted me the time to do an interview Saturday at 5, so we'll probably start filming right after that. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it live or not. We'll see. I'm still working on a new platform I had to purchase to do live with the new camera. So that's kind of the only holdup, using the new camera and doing live. Because I really don't like using my phone because it's just an old cheap Android, and I just don't think it's the best quality. The new camera is great quality, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. The third interview I have coming up, which is probably going to be Monday or Tuesday, we haven't set the time yet, is with someone here locally who I met. I have a side gig that I do non-emergency medical transportation, and it's someone that I give rides to when I can for dialysis. Now, anybody that knows anything about dialysis would know that that's a 3-time-a-week ordeal, about 4 hours each time, for people who have kidney problems or just simply don't have kidneys. And we'll explain what dialysis is and things like that. But the reason I asked her to do an interview with me is because this woman is very inspirational. Not only does she do dialysis, but she's going to school, and she has so many challenges in her life, but I've never heard her complain. And I just really want you to meet her because this is the kind of person I think sets such a good example for others. We think, bitch, moan, complain, whine, we got so many problems in life. No, you'll be a lot more grateful for your life when you meet her and see what a unbelievably positive attitude she has. So I'm looking forward to you meeting her. The next interview, now this one's definitely TBA, but hopefully the end of next week or the following week, Mr. Cunningham, who is kind of in charge of heading up this new recovery center for Halifax County, is granting me an interview. We're only at the email exchange. I've sent him some questions I'd like to ask him. He's going to send me a PowerPoint to look at. But from what he's told me so far, aside from Edmonds Park and what they're talking about potentially wanting to do in the next few years, this recovery center, it's just amazing. I'm going to try and get some statistical information for you so that people understand the depth and breadth. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. Hang up. Volume down. Sorry about that. The depth and breadth of the substance abuse and addiction issue here in Halifax County. And you will understand why this is needed. And this, to me, is so important for young people, for family issues. Anybody who has had addiction or substance issues touch your family know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is something that sounds very comprehensive. And the ideas he was telling me about just got me real excited. Because that's one of the many pieces of this puzzle I know that Halifax County is trying to put together so that we can complete it and have a beautiful picture. So that's 4 interviews. Halifax Democrat Party, District 6 writing candidate, struggling citizen who's just an inspiration, and Judge Cunningham, who is going to talk about the recovery center that will be opening. All right, so yeah, that's great. And now I've got 3 topics I want to cover tonight. I have to be a little succinct here because I have some plans. This is why I'm early. And one of these days, I promise I'll put makeup on because I do clean up well, so you don't think I never wear makeup. Last Monday, I conducted back-to-back interviews with 2 of our Board of Supervisor candidates for the election. Jeff Oakes, who is running against Herbert Purnell, who refuses to grant me an interview. He did his second, and this was a pretty comprehensive interview. It was a lot of talk, a lot of questions, and a lot of great ideas and a lot of information. I thought it was a very good interview, and I thank him for the time he takes to give to me to bring the essence of his platform to the voters of the county, because this is so important for you guys to hear this to make your decision if you haven't already. I've updated the election numbers on the website, so you'll see where we're at as far as how many people have voted so far. It's not as high as I'd like to see it, and I've also decided that I'm going to do a live stream on the night of the election, and I've talked to them up there, and they said that we're welcome to come up there and watch as results come in, because usually you can kind of tell early which way things are going to go. My second interview was with James Gordon, who is running against Mr. Thompson in District 6, and he shared also some good ideas, and it was a pretty in-depth conversation and talking about issues of the county, and brought up some good points about some, things that everybody collectively is concerned with, or challenges, opportunities, whatever you want to call it. So I hope that you will watch those. If you need to, if you haven't voted yet and you're in these districts and you're not sure, I asked Mr. Thompson if he would do a second comprehensive interview with me as well, and he said he wanted to opt out of this one. Now, I think it's next week on the 28th. The Chamber of Commerce is hosting a candidate forum, but it's not going to be questions and answers. Basically, everybody, what is this damn thing on my shirt? Everybody that agrees to go is given 5 minutes to express their platform, or they can just give a written statement. And as far as I understand, only 4 people have confirmed that they're going to do it. Oakes and Gordon, of course, and oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember who the other 2 are. I'm sorry, I'll have to look it back up. I can't remember. I wasn't quite prepared to talk about that. But I'll be there. I'm going to be there covering that one. So that'll probably be your final look at the candidates. All right, let me review all of them so far. And I want to tell you, I've reached out to everyone, sitting board members. I'm probably going to invite Mr. Roller He's running against Mr. Dixon, who's not given any interviews, even though he said he would, but he hasn't. I might try him one more time. And I'll probably ask Mr. Roller again so y'all can speak. Y'all can get the opportunity to hear them in their platforms one last time before the election. I've completed my, what did I do with my glasses? I've completed my interviews for District 3, which is Pinnell, who will not even return messages to his machine, and Mr. Oakes, who is granted 2 interviews and has been at a prior candidate forum and will be at another candidate forum. So you had a lot of opportunities to listen and make a decision based on him. What's the other one? The other one is Mr. Gordon and Mr. Thompson. I've already spoke to that. Oh, and that's it. Okay. That's everybody on the Board of Supervisors. Now, the school board has an election, but I think there's only one candidate running, and the others are unopposed, which is really surprising because I would think more parents would be out there wanting to be on the school board. But I don't know. I'll get more in depth with that election the next time it cycles around. This election cycle, I've really been filled with the Board of Supervisors elections, and I do think it's the most important local one going on right now because of the serious dysfunction within the board at this time, and I hope that this is going to change after November, but we'll see. All right, so you can keep up with current stats as well as the Food Watch on the website, and I probably should pull that up and show it to you at some point tonight. Okay, I've also gotten a copy of the Board of Supervisors bylaws and rules of procedure. This is them. It's about 17 pages. I have not had the opportunity to sit down and go through it yet, but I will. And I'm going to put it up on my website so that you can look at it and see too. Because someone, I believe it was Mr. Gordon, brought up a really good point about all that happened in that committee meeting in a podcast I did recently, that there should have been a standard operating procedure. And I thought, yeah, that's exactly right. So anyway, I've got a hold of this. I'll post it for you, and we'll probably talk about it in another podcast when I have a chance to digest it. So a couple of past interviews to catch up on for that. I want to spend a minute talking about trolls. I think everybody knows what a troll is, and I have started to gather my own little set of trolls. They're usually people who, I call them negative Nellies. They really have nothing good to say. They complain, they call you names, but they don't seem to want to come face to face with you. My first one I had here was a guy named Mr. Pierce, and he called me stupid twice, said that, kind of nothing because we're just an obscure little podcast, which is true, and I'm okay with that, I started this podcast as a service to this county. If people want to use it, fine. If you don't, fine too. If you don't want to listen to my opinion, don't. That's cool. But I'm not out here trying to make a buck. I'm doing this as a service to the county, kind of my gift to you. If I can, I've had several people say you need to monetize this, and that just means make money off of it. Well, okay, but that's not my goal. If that happens in the future, maybe some advertising within the podcast on YouTube, like every other podcast on YouTube, something like that. I've got a little advertising spot if anybody wants to do that, but I'm not going to go out here begging for money. I'm not going to ask you for it directly, hey, support me, give me money, This is why I'm not a big fan of Patreon. You can get a subscription for as little as $5 a month. Right now, there's no content on it. I'm not exactly sure what direction I'll be going with that at some point in time, but I will be. But it's way on a back burner because monetizing money and all that is not a priority to me. Right now is to continue to learn what I'm doing, learning these platforms, reaching the county, finding more networking within the county to bring you more news and information, mastering techniques of camera and not having... I'm getting better at editing, but I had a couple of snafus with my interviews. I just need to pay attention about my attire, let's put it that way, and do better. And, people need to tell me, hey, Lisa, you're pull your dress down, or whatever the case may be, because I just don't pay attention to things like that very much. And then I had a couple of people that quit following my page that I don't have access to at the moment, and they sent me. I think it was in the comments of the No Kings rally. That's the last thing I want to talk about, but they weren't very nice. And what the problem I have with a lot of this is, like, if you don't like my political opinion, that's fine, but you don't have to be insulting. Because I find people that are unkind is what I would also equate to being unchristian. And these are the very people that say they're Christian. So that hypocrisy is very difficult for me. One person, it was two women actually, so I would call them trolls. I think they were trolling me on the No Kings video in the comments, and I think that thing's got about 50 or 60 comments on it at this point. And I got a little snippy because I was getting a little heated, maybe emotional or offended. I hate using that word too. It just bothered me, So I certainly responded. Maybe not in the best way, but one of them said that everybody at the No Kings rally was just wasting their time. Why don't they do something useful, like go out and feed people? Whatever. Well, I wrote back that the irony is that we had a food drive at the No Kings rally. A lot of food was gathered, and it was given to the Good Samaritan food bank here in South Boston. So, my response was, what did you get your ass out and do? You want to criticize us because you don't like what our message is. Do I need to go out there and publicly... See, that's the thing. It's not even publicly. It's in a comment. You're behind a computer screen. Bottom line, let me cut to the chase here. Both of these women I invited to be on this podcast. I said, why don't you have a face-to-face conversation with me? Say what you've got to say to my face. Give me the opportunity to respond. Be a little respectful and answer some questions I have about whatever your ideology is. And their response was to go silent and then unfollow the page or unfriend me or whatever the hell you do on social media. And that's what frustrated Mr. Pierce. I asked several times, come on this podcast, let's discuss it. But he said we were too obscure for him. I guess he needs a big audience. I guess he wants to be on Rogan or something. Whatever. So I've started asking around to get people who have different ideologies, people who have different ideas to talk to me. And that's in the works, because those are the conversations and interviews I really want to have. I think it's crucial for us to start talking. If we don't, this division's never going to ease up. And I do think, though, that a lot of people, especially if you go by polling and all that stuff, are starting to understand that this isn't black, white, red, blue. This is rich, poor. This is oligarchy versus regular working people. And it very much is becoming an us versus them. And I want to interject here that anybody that knows history and follows the French Revolution, the whole let them eat cake from Marie Antoinette, this is such a moment right now of that. We're getting 1/3 of the White House, the People's House, has been torn down for a gold inlaid ballroom. If that doesn't get any more people of privilege, when the government shut down food stamps. Did you see Youngkin even declared a state of emergency because food stamps are getting cut off the first of the month? Hey, what are we going to do about that, Halifax County? Already I'm hearing rumblings about food banks being short. I know social services is worried. They've put out a notice to people. What are we going to do? I've kind of been stockpiling for months, knowing that the economy was, feeling or believing the economy was going to go down. So I'm in really good shape and probably can help other people and will do so. We made a good donation to the food drive at the King's Rally. But I think it's more than that. I would rather see, what I want to do is like put a table somewhere and have 5 big old crock pots of chili and people sit down and eat together. That thing I went to at that church, God, I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name of the church, but it's where the Good Samaritan is. That's what they did. Somebody cooked a big thing of Brunswick stew, somebody cooked a big thing of chili, and they invited people to come and, sit down and break bread together. But I want to do that with no ulterior motive. I'm not trying to recruit you for anything. I'm not going to ask you for money. Let's just help people. And if it's something as basic as feeding them, for God's sakes, why can't we do that? Put everything else aside and take care of people. So, yeah. Trolls. That's what I was talking about. So all of you people who think something negative of me or think I'm crazy or want to call me names or put your money where your mouth is. You have an open invitation to come here and talk to me one-on-one. And we can do it recorded. We can do it live. I just prefer live because I hate editing and it's easy and it's spontaneous. I like that. Yeah, so bring it on, trolls, because otherwise you really, really make yourself look not good. I don't know how. I'm trying to say this in a polite way. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is the No Kings Rally. No Kings Rally. The No Kings Rally was awesome. Over 7 million people that were counted, I think it was a fair bit more than that, protested around the country. And some of the pushback I saw from other people, well, like one of the ones that trolled me in that video said, "What is wrong with you? We don't even have a king here." And I'm like, you're missing the point. The point is this government is acting like it's a king. Donald Trump is acting like a king. He wants to be a king. His actions are the actions of what a king would do. And we're talking about, see, for me, I would even say it's not even a king, it's a dictator. Okay, why is my phone still going off? I thought I turned all the sound down. Let me turn it all down. If this is somebody watching, trying to get messages to me, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm not multitasking right now. I just have to turn the volume down. And it's some messages about this podcast. Okay, I'll get to you as soon as I can. Sorry. Anyway, it's that due process is not being served. The law is not being followed. Actions are being taken without approval. There are 3 equal branches of government. This is what the country was founded on. But the executive branch is absorbing all the power. The Supreme Court. Did you hear they took up overfill? Oh my God. It's just, I feel like our rights are being eroded. I feel like there's no due process going on. And clearly laws are being broken. I want to ask somebody that still supports Trump, what does he have to do for you not to support him? And if you say nothing, there's something wrong. He's already associated with a pedophile. He already is covering up the Epstein thing. He has destroyed 1/3 of the White House grounds. The entire East Wing is gone. He's illegally fired thousands of federal workers. I mean, I could go on. There's a huge list. I'll post it. I'll research it. If you disagree with me, come on here and talk to me about it. Prove me wrong. But if this is where a lot of people tell me, Lisa, if people still support him, they're just in a cult. And you have to understand the cult mentality. I don't know if I believe that or not. But something isn't making sense to me that all these things that are going so wrong are accepted and some of them celebrated. What do you think of this Stephen Miller guy? Or Steve Bannon. Isn't that his name? Yeah, So back to the No Kings rally. It was peaceful. There were actually arrests of counter-protesters. One of them brought a gun and was threatening some people at a rally. I think there might have been some refusal to disperse charge on somebody somewhere in Colorado. But let's compare that. 7 million people. Let's say there was even 20 or 30 arrests, okay? How many people were at January 6th? 20, 30,000? And there were 2,500 arrests? There were deaths? There was serious violence? It's just not comparable. Overall, it was peaceful. It was a great messaging. And when I got there and saw the people that were there and the messages they had and read all those signs here locally in South Boston, and apparently there was a good one in Danville, Clarksville, I think Chase City. So the region had them going on. Richmond had a big one. There was a big turnout somewhere up in Chesapeake, I think, too. But to see everybody come out and say what they had to say and listen to their messages, honestly, I had almost tears in my eyes because I haven't felt a sense of community like that in a while. Things have felt so divisive, and people just want to stay home. They don't want to go out. They don't want to do the normal communing things that they do. And a lot of that has to do with technology. I think we all agree with that there's just way too much time on the phone, especially for our young people. How do we get out and about and make that? And that's part of what this podcast is all about, trying to bring people together and have these conversations, even if they're hard. So I felt like the No King was great. We had 2 cars go by and scream out F you to us. Other than that, there was a lot of honking, a lot of support. I do think on some things we're all getting on the same page, or we're starting to be in simpatico with each other. When this election is over, I'm looking forward to having more outreach within the communities about these topics and having conversations. Yeah, so that's kind of pretty much wraps it up. It's kind of a little bit short I'm doing tonight because I have a couple things I need to prepare for. But I wanted to touch base with you and let you know what's happening. I've got some good updates to the website, Halifax Oasis, HALIFACTS Oasis.com. I can put that as a comment when I finish. And looking forward to these interviews coming up and a lot more community outreach. We only have 2 weeks left to that election. Be sure to get out there and vote. They have curbside voting. There's a phone number. All this information is on my website. You just call a number and they'll meet you outside of the building at Mary Bethune in Halifax. And you just pull up, do your voting there, and go on. You don't even have to get out of the car. You can go in person. Early voting is open all throughout the week. Or you can go on election night, November 4th, I believe. And the polls are open. I'll have to look at my information again. Yeah, so that's the thing. If you want to complain, if you want to be involved, if you want to have any say in anything, get out there and vote. That's like a basic duty. And other countries, it's compulsory, like Australia, and I think New Zealand is too. You have to go. You don't have to vote for anybody, but you still have to vote, or you get fined. So maybe that would be a good idea. I tell you, some big ideas that need to be part of the national conversation. Term limits, compulsory voting. Term limits, I think, would be a really good thing, A lot more to come, and thank you for your support, and thanks for all the messages. Everything's going to be okay. That's all I got to say. And I will see you again tomorrow.